Hey, welcome. So, if you've ever had an idea for an online business, you've probably asked yourself this question: why do so many of them just fizzle out? Well, today, we're not just going to break down the reasons why they fail, we're going to give you the playbook to actually avoid it. Right, this is the big one, isn't it? So many entrepreneurs pour their heart, their soul, their savings into a project, only to see it go nowhere. It's a really frustrating experience, and we're going to deconstruct it piece by piece. And yeah, this quote just hits it right on the head. It's a total gut punch. But here's the thing: understanding why that failure happens, that is the absolute first step to building something that actually works. Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to look at that classic trap of your idea versus what the market actually needs. Then we'll dive into some fatal marketing mistakes, the problem with a product that's just nice, the absolute necessity of testing, and finally, the mindset you need to succeed. First up, what is probably the single biggest reason businesses fail? You fall in love with your own idea without ever stopping to check if anyone else actually needs it. We see this all the time. People try to force this brilliant idea onto a market that just isn't asking for it. And what's so interesting here is the shift in focus. Look at the before. You're selling a thing, a yoga course. But look at the after. Now you're selling a solution to a very real problem: stress. See the difference? And the result of that one little change? A tenfold, that's 10x, increase in engagement and in sales. That's not just a small adjustment, that is a complete game changer. And it all came from framing the offer around the customer's need, not the creator's idea. So the big takeaway here is this: before you build anything, you have to ask yourself, what pain am I actually solving? What fear am I getting rid of? What result does my customer desperately want? That's where your business really starts. All right, let's move on to the second mistake, and boy, is it a costly one: making fatal marketing errors. A lot of people think that if they just throw enough money at ads, their problems will disappear. But usually, it just pours gasoline on the fire. Just look at the difference here. The before ad is so vague, so abstract. I mean, who wakes up in the morning and thinks, you know what I need to do today? I need to find myself. But the after ad, it speaks directly to a real nagging pain, overthinking, and offers a super specific, tangible outcome. And the impact was immediate. Just by changing the ad copy to focus on the customer's pain, this life coach tripled their bookings. In 1 week, the product was exactly the same. The only thing that changed was the message. This is so important. Advertising is not a magic wand that can fix a broken message. All it does is take whatever message you have and blast it out to more people. If your message is wrong, you're just paying to fail faster. You have to get the message right first. Okay, on to our third point. This one's a little more subtle, but it is just as deadly. It's the trap of creating a product that is just nice. You know the kind. People admire it, they'll say, oh, that's a neat idea, but they never actually pull out their wallet. And there is a world of difference between a nice product and a needed one. Nice gets you likes and comments on social media. Needed gets you sales. Think about it. You might admire something nice in a shop window, but you only spend money on the things you feel you truly need. Here is a perfect example. Discover your true passion. That's a lovely, nice idea, but it's also really abstract. Now look at the after. By linking that passion to a very concrete, very desirable outcome, a monthly income, it suddenly becomes a needed solution to a real problem. So the key here is to make sure your offer isn't just some pleasant concept. It has to be a practical tool that solves a real-world problem and delivers a tangible, measurable change in your customer's life. Okay, this brings us to something that is absolutely non-negotiable for every single online business. You have to be constantly testing and improving. Success isn't about having one perfect launch. It's about constant iteration. This four-step loop is basically the engine of online growth. You launch something, anything, then you look at the real data, not what you think will happen, then you use that data to make it better, and you do it all over again. It's a cycle, not a one-shot deal. And check out this case study. A course called Improve Your Life was a complete flop. Why? It's way too broad. But instead of just giving up, the creator tested a new, super specific title: How to Stop Negative Thinking in 7 Days. And that one change, it turned a total failure into a huge success.
So you have to remember, every launch is just a test. There are no failures, there's only data. Every result, good or bad, tells you something valuable about your audience. It guides you one step closer to what actually works.
And finally, let's talk about the one thing that powers all of these strategies. Honestly, it's the single most important factor that determines whether you sink or swim, and that's your mindset. See, the perfectionist gets stuck planning forever. They're afraid to launch anything until the logo's perfect, the website is flawless, and they never launch. But the adaptable entrepreneur, they know that progress beats perfection every single time. They get something simple out there, they learn, they iterate, and that's how they win. You have to decide which one you're going to be.
When you boil it all down, the game of online business isn't about having one brilliant, perfect idea from the start. It's really about mastering this ongoing process, truly understanding your customer's pain, observing what the market is telling you, constantly testing your message, and then having the flexibility to adjust based on what the real data says.
So I'll leave you with this last, crucial question to ask yourself. When you think about your project, are you building it with the mind of a perfectionist, stuck building a perfect tower that never actually launches? Or are you an adapter, ready to navigate the river of real-world data? Because honestly, the answer to that could make all the difference.